want us to ride in the streets, buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. What's the point of putting your money into it if it's not gonna last? Always ask. There's many competing for world dominance. I believe China has all the cash. Today we're talking about Bitcoin. Today we're talking about Coin. Today we're talking about Chain Coin. If you want to know how much would see you in the future, very good. Not a scam, go buy some Cardano. Don't want us to ride in the streets, buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. It came up as a scam of some sort, token that's trying to change the world. One thing I don't think I mentioned, they'd start with good intentions. Today we're talking about Matic Coin. Today we're talking about Allrun Coin. Today we're talking about Aeon Coin. If you want to know how much would see you in the future, very good. Not a scam, go buy some Cardano. Don't want us to ride in the streets, buy that Bitcoin cryptocurrency. See you in the future, very good.
Subscribe.
Not a scam, go buy some Cardano.
Subscribe.
See you in the future, very good.
Subscribe.
Not a scam, go buy some Cardano. Is this gonna last that 10-year mark? In short time, it came up in the cards. Tracking goods from point A to point B. New cycle with cryptocurrencies. Because it's fairly unknown to the majority of people on the planet Earth. Most people barely know what an Ethereum is. Hi, this is Sekareen's My Honor, where I do predictions of the future. If you'd like me to do a prediction for you, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you buy that Cardano, just like the video says. So, just a reminder, we do lives here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30 now because of work. And Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central. So make sure you write it down on your calendar so you don't miss a moment. Let's get started for today's show. Somebody was asking about Chiliz coin news. Now, Chiliz is a sports betting type of platform, I believe. So they were asking what it's going to be like in the next year or so. Will it be a survivor? Will it go away? Now, let's just throw out some cards. Let's have a look at Chiliz for the next little while. We got some people talking in the comment section. Awesome stuff. So let's have a look at Chiliz. And I'm hoping that that is the proper way of pronouncing that name. So this is going to be for the next year. As we're going through all this wonderful turmoil, the wonderful chaos. So the health of it, they're going to be fighting along with many of the other cryptocurrencies that are out there. And they're really going strong, even now in the downturn. If you go back in history, many of these betting places, casinos, that sort of thing, actually go up in use, okay, because everybody's hoping for that financial gain from betting on this and that. So I believe Chiliz is going to be one of the ones that goes up quite a bit. I believe Chiliz is more of a sporting betting thing on its platform. It's going to be fighting away along with many of the other cryptocurrencies, but I believe it's going to be doing a lot better than many of the other ones that are out there. The price, I think, is going to be kind of stagnant for the next little while until the big pop, where everything starts to happen in the next couple months. And we've been predicting about winter time, the beginning of winter, and throughout the winter time, a lot of things are going to be changing in that time period. Um, and that's evident by the cards. A lot of the smoke and mirror stuff and all the tomfoolery that's going on behind the scenes is going to be noticed, and they're going to be just carrying it from there to something that actually works for everybody going forward. And I believe there's going to be some regulations coming along to grace their platform in the next little while as well. Um, the people that are involved in it are going to be doing a lot of hard work. We got the Ace of Wands, which is a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes, making this platform much bigger than it was. I think in times of turmoil, these type of platforms, it doesn't have to be a cryptocurrency, could be gambling of any sort, always seems to do well in times of downturn. So, and that's going to be the case with this cryptocurrency going forward. Um, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. They're going to be improving the website quite a bit in the next year or so. So keep an eye on that going forward. Um, and there's some white hat activity going on behind the scenes as well, making sure things are going just right for everybody that's out there. So, not financial advice, but if you have a little bit of extra cash after you paid for gotten your BTC and your LTC and many of the other ones that I constantly mention on here, maybe put a little bit into chills. Um, After you've done that, it would be a pretty good idea to do so. Okay, so that was the chills reading for today and for the next year or so. So, somebody's always asking about Cardano, and they're doing some interesting things. Okay, I know they're struggling a little bit right now, but we have to remember what's happening now is not what it's going to be into the future. A lot of things struggle. Okay, and that includes cryptocurrencies. It's what you do during the struggle. You lay down and die, or you keep on trucking. Okay, so Caesar and Domino are in attendance. Caesar's right next to me. He's being calm and collected, and he's having a bath, actually. Right next to me. Domino's off to the side with Mummy, doing his thing. So, let's have a look at Cardano for the next little while. Even that, I think they're having a little bit of problems. Let's see how they're doing for the next little while. Let's say a month or so. And just remember what I said previously. Every cryptocurrency, every business, every person goes through rough times. It's what we do in that time period. Do we give up? Okay. Or do we keep going forward? Okay. And growing. As my boss at work always says, you're either growing or you're standing still. And that's why the company that I work with has bought in 3 new buildings. Okay. And really going for expansion, which is quite incredible how they do that. But we're looking at Cardano. Are they going to prosper in these times of the next month or so? Seems that the health of the cryptocurrency platform is doing rather well overall, but they're tied to things that probably do not work in the future right now time. Okay, so they're going to have to look at it expanding even more so than what they have been doing. I know they've been trying to throw a lot of things onto the side of that blockchain and it's been kind of giving them a lot of pain in the ass situations for themselves. They are correcting a lot of those in the next little while and have been recently. They're going to have a lot more of that going on because they keep expanding their platform. But I think I believe they're going to be uh, getting through that with flying colors. The people that are involved in it, um, even now they're kind of turning away to other things and all that sort of thing. They got the world card in the people. And so that means it's going to be around, it's going to be a chosen cryptocurrency for the future. Even now that there's some uh, kind of strategies that they've been working on in the background that may not have been working out well, which is going along with that devil card, tied to things that do not work in the present business environment that we're in right now. And they're going to be changing that very soon, uh, which is going to make the price of that cryptocurrency go further up and making changing about facing their way they're doing business. Okay. When they do that, I think everything else is going to start to fall into place in the next little while for Cardano. Um, what else we got here? There's a lot of hidden things that are going to be revealed in the next little while, which is going to be very beneficial for the platform in the next little while. Things that they've been keeping hush hush about, and they're going to be coming out, and it's going to be a good thing actually for the growth of Cardano in the next little while. Okay, so that was the Cardano rating for the next month or so. So let's get on to the Luna coin news. Everybody's talking about Luna. We were talking about Luna at the party with the crypto guys, and they're surprised that it's still going. Okay, they got the now. This will be the Luna, the new Luna. Okay, not the Luna Classic, but the new Luna blockchain. There's too many Lunas to shake a stick at, but let's look at the new one that they just developed. Will they be successful? They'll be okay. They don't have a stable coin attached to their new one. I wonder why. And probably gonna hopefully learn their lesson on not doing the things that they had in the past with the classic. Okay. Which, as we all know, was very bad. So, so the health of the new Luna, the Luna 2.0, I guess you can call it, seems to be doing well. They're building things in the background. Now they got to get people's attention back to them. Um, so people will start to put money in there. And I think that's going to be happening a little bit over time. They are going to be having some victories with the price in the next little while. This is going to be for the next year or so. But it's not going to be the big explosion that everybody was hoping for overall. Okay, it's not going to do the same thing Luna did in a short period of time. It's going to take a little bit longer than Luna Classic did in the very beginning of its life. Um, the people that are involved in it, they're fighting hard behind the scenes, and they are having many victories and a lot of parting because they getting through those hurdles that were put in front of them and moving forward. I think the biggest hurdle that they'll have is the name. Okay, because everybody's going to be a little gun shy on trying to get into putting their money back into something with the word Luna or the same company. Um, it may have been smarter to rebrand themselves or something like that, or put a little under new management sign on the door. May have been a little bit more beneficial for them moving forward. But I think even now they're having all these problems with the name and the organization. people will slowly start to get back into the new Luna and the old Luna for whatever that's going to do. Of course, the Luna Classic is still going, but not as strong as people had suspected. It will start to go up. It did go up quite a bit in the last little while. So if you did have some Luna Classic, it probably went up quite a bit in the last little while. I think the new Luna 2.0, is going to be doing its thing. It's going to stay around for as long as it needs to and build on new strategies and new ways of doing business to move themselves forward um, overall. So I think it's going to be around for quite some time. Okay. Would I get involved with Luna? Probably not. I'm looking for the long-term investment type of thing, which is a little bit more stable. I know you can make more money with kind of unstable things in the short term. I'm looking at it more of the long-term return. Okay, so there's that for the Luna. Now, somebody was asking the question, is crypto backed by gold? Very interesting question. Some are, some aren't. The Bitcoin, as we all know, is not backed by gold or any other assets. It is backed by their own mathematics, okay, and the scarcity model. And this is something that Bitcoin has over many of the other cryptocurrencies that are coming out, that there's a limited amount of coins that will ever be developed. Okay, there's only going to be ever 21 million coins, and if you haven't gotten one, well, you're you're going to be scrambling for one soon, because that scarcity model is what gives it value. Okay, and supply and demand. That's what pumps up the price, even though the elites are buying Bitcoin at a great rate. Every time it dips at the moment, you always get news that the elites and the banks and the uh, celebrities are all buying the Bitcoin. Could be a very good indicator what to get into. Even now, if you don't have a full Bitcoin, get a little bit. Okay. So let's just have a look at Bitcoin in the future. We all know that Bitcoin is not backed by gold. It's in itself, but there are many cryptocurrencies that have tried to be backed by gold. And I know of one gentleman that is trying to make a new cryptocurrency that is backed by gold, and he may be talking to a gentleman that had Veritasium. Okay. So we'll see how that works out. I believe that is going to do well. The infrastructure is already there, and we just have to move on from there. So let's have a look at the cryptocurrencies that are backed by gold. And there's a few, and how they're going to be doing in the next year or so as we go into a new financial cycle. Now, the health of that idea of cryptocurrencies being backed by gold, it'd be very stable in the next little while and probably start to go up, as we've all been saying for eons right now. And there's going to be a fine balance, and there's going to be a pretty good payout for the people holding those particular cryptocurrencies on a whole. The financial part of it is going to be, even though it's stable, it's not going to be rising as much as people had thought they would in the next little while. I think everybody's attention is more onto the Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum, that sort of thing, moving forward. And many of the attention is away from the gold and silver overall. Okay. Because we got that newer generation that's into the market, and they don't really look at gold and silver and all that, like the older generations do. Even though gold and silver and platinum and many of the other uh, precious metals do have value, okay, and they will have much more value going further into the future, as we've already discussed on many other shows, that gold and silver will go up like crazy because of the powers that be reevaluating everything as the precious metals, and many countries turning to that. Okay, look at the BRICS as they're changing their fiat system into a gold backed system. And that's what Russia has basically done, and not that long ago. And now that it has one of the strongest currencies on the planet and one of the most stable currencies on the planet, even though we throw sanctions and all that sort of thing at them, it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, so there's that part. So anything that's attached to gold, silver, and any of the precious metals will do well. The price will creep up, but not as much as the cryptocurrencies that aren't part of the gold and silver, platinum, and you name the cryptocurrency or precious metal. And the people that are involved in these are going to be having a bit of a hard time in the next year as regulating and blah 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 comes after them. So it's going to be a trying time for many of these cryptocurrencies that are backed by gold. Because of the powers that be do not want to relinquish control over the market, because they then lose control over the common person. Okay, but they will do fine in the future. Okay, so thank you for that question. UFO gaming crypto news. Yeah. People really enjoy this one. Let's have a quick look at it. We've done readings on it previously. I think it's going to do okay. Okay. Using it if you're playing the games and all that. I don't think you're ever going to be rich from it. Doing it that way, but let's see how UFO gaming crypto on its own without playing the game can do. Okay. Let's just say you bought some UFO token and you're just sitting on it. Right? So sitting on that particular token, it seems that the health of that situation, you're going to have a long journey ahead of you before you're going to see huge gains, because it's not a finite amount that's being developed. Okay, like many of those types of cryptocurrencies, they just throw out cryptocurrencies like the Fed prints money. And it's hard to really get any traction on the value of those cryptocurrencies when you do that. Okay, it doesn't have that scarcity model built into it. And a lot of these cryptocurrencies will start to have some burning feature, like Ethereum and Shiba Inu has at the moment, lessening the amount of cryptocurrencies that are out there and slowly building up the price as we go along. So the health of it is, it's okay. Nothing really to write home about it for getting rich and all that sort of. It will be around for the foreseeable future as a gaming token and doing what it does best as a gaming token. The price of it is going to be a little lackluster for the next year or so, and nothing amazing. And the people that are involved in it have to going to be writing new law. This is one of the ones that regulators are going to look at and be writing new laws and new regulations for the cryptocurrencies that are like this. Okay, so it's going to be rough, tough sailing for the next year or two for this cryptocurrency. It'll be around, and will make it through. Okay. To the other end. So Uh, UFO gaming crypto will be around. I don't think you could be making a ton of money from it, but you will a little bit. If you want to get into it, that's what you do. You can do what you gotta do. Okay. Thank you for that question. We're into the chat questions. Now, Tesla and many of the other companies like it will do well. Okay. Even in times of recession and depression and all that, those big companies always get bailed out. Okay. Every time. And much of the printing of the money, most of that money goes to those big companies that don't really need it. And they will survive, even though the excuse, well, they make jobs. Well, they do, but they also automate everything, and people start to lose their jobs. In the meantime, we don't have that balance quite yet. Okay, not everybody can be a technician for one of the Amazon robots, but Tesla as a company in itself, let's see how it's going to do, and that will pretty much tell us what Tesla stock will do. Okay. So the health of the company and the stock and everything will be a little stagnant for the next little while. I think a lot of things that were hidden and will come to the surface as we move forward. I know a lot of people, well, a couple of people with Tesla cars. They seem to be a fine automobile. Um, they will survive, even though it looks like their thing is going to go down. When it does go down, this is the time to get greedy about that stock. Okay, so it may get down to that 500. I don't think quite yet, but if it does, it'd be a good time to get in there and be greedy. Okay, because those companies always go back up and they always survive. The biggest players always survive because the government always gives them cash. There you go. You don't want you to crash, destroy all those jobs. Uh, we're going to see that Tesla will survive the downturns and the upturns and the recession and the depression and all that sort of thing. And the dogs are barking and the cats are meowing and all that sort of thing. So I believe it will get down to that level. And when it does, it would be a good opportunity for everybody if they would like to, because I can't give financial advice here, but it would be a good thing to get it into. Okay. Always look for things that you think are going to survive no matter what's going on in the market. Okay. And this is one of Warren Buffett's things. He talks about in his books that always look for investments that will survive no matter what the economy is doing. So people are brushing their teeth, get into a company that sells toothpaste. Babies are going to keep getting born, so you're going to need all the things that are devoted to babies, like diapers. Okay, that sort of thing. Everybody's going to be driving electric cars in the future, maybe. And so get into those things that you believe, and I believe that will survive no matter what the market is doing. So the answer to the question is yes. Okay, thank you. BTC going back up. Yeah, I think we're already discussed that a few times. BTC will go back up and it'll go back down. It's gonna be doing this all day long until approximately the winter time, and it's gonna start to go up. Um, because of other things going on. It's just not cryptocurrencies that we have to look at. We have to look at the world at large on what's going on. Um, so we'll go down in September. Let's throw a card down. Yep, it's going to go down again in September. Then October and August, September. It's going to do this. So in that time period of the fall, it's going to go a sharp turn down. Probably not by that much. I think we've already found the bottom, or very close to the bottom. And then it's going to start to go up like crazy because of necessity. Okay. I was just reading one of the comments. Keep focused, Andre. That's what the wife says. So yeah, it's going to be going up and then down again. So always buy at those low ends and sit on it. It's probably the best advice I can give for that. Okay. Thank you for that question. I'm crapping myself on exchanges. Can I sweep the nuke and bail, or am I going to get screwed trying to catch this knife? Well, it's about second guessing your first impressions and trying to stop the knife from doing what it's going to be doing. You know exactly what the market is doing or going to do because you have those skills. Okay, just stick to it. Don't try to stop a speeding train while it's already in motion. I think that's part of the problem. You know what the market's going to do. Now just stick to your guns and you're going to do fine. Okay? You have to remember trading is not about emotion. Once we get into emotion, then we're going to start to make bad decisions. Always do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. If everybody else is panicking, that's when we get greedy. And when everybody's being greedy, that's when you be afraid. It's very simple. Warren Buffett talking. When everybody's afraid, be greedy. And when everybody's greedy, take some profit. Okay. And if you're a day trader, the price is like an argument between two people. Part of the camp wants it this price, and the other camp wants it this price. And it's that in between that most traders make their money, is that up and down. They don't make as much money doing when the market's doing this. So this should be a blessing to dark when it's going up and down. You can make the most money in that argument. Okay, so I believe if you do with the head instead of the heart, you'll be just fine. Okay, and stick to your guns. Thank you. Hi, Andre. You think Star Atlas will get a 10 US cents in 2022? I think we covered this, but let's look at it again. I believe Star of Atlas is going to be one of the top games going forward, right after Axie Infinity and all the other ones that are like that, or in that new gaming genre of games that are coming out. I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and they're talking a good game, but I don't think they have the capabilities of getting the price to that point quite yet. They're working hard behind the scenes. They're looking towards the future for their cryptocurrency platform and the gaming platform. But it's one of those you just buy it and sit on. I don't think it's going to get that 10 cent mark by the end of this year. It's going to be beyond that. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. I understand crypto will pop this Christmas, but when will it go to all-time high? Well, it's going to go higher than the high that we have already had. And it's probably going to be in that year after the Christmas season. It's something that I don't think about much. I just buy it, I sit on it, and let the market do what it's going to do. It's up to us not to keep worrying about the price every 5 seconds. Like a newbie. When I was a new crypto investor, kept looking at my phone every 5 seconds. Don't do that. Just get it, sit on it. It will get to that point at a later time. If you really need that currency at the meantime, you should only invest as much as you can lose, right? We already know it's going to win. Okay. It's just the waiting that's the tough part, right? I gotta wait. We've been at it since 2016 when Bitcoin was $600. Okay, that's Canadian, whatever that was in American, and we're still sitting. And it's what, seven more years since we've been sitting, and we've done okay. So, yeah, just buy it, sit on it. The market's going to do what it needs to do. I believe the all-time high will be after that Christmas season, and in the next year after that, we're going to do very, very well. It's a tough lesson for many new crypto persons out there to relax and not be run by the emotions. I think I look at my cryptos like once a day. I go, oh, it's up today. Cool. Oh, went down again today. Cool. Buy some more. That's all there is to it. Hopefully that relaxes you a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Let's throw some cards down just for that question. Yeah, it's going to be after the Christmas season. The next year or so is going to be. You think it's tough now? Wait. And you're going to be happy that you've been sitting on that crypto that you've been holding for a long time. And it's going to be very, very happy for you. It's going to be moving very quickly. And it's going to be something of necessity going into the future. I can't stress this enough. The old system is dying. Okay? So if you're worried about the ups and downs, don't. Okay? When the old system collapses, you're going to be happy that you're in the new system. Okay? Hopefully that helps you out, Anne. When do you see the exchanges purge? Some of them will purge, some of them won't. There's going to be 4 or 5 cryptocurrency exchanges that will be around for the next little while. And if you're thinking of liquidating everything, that's why I always say do not leave your cryptos in an exchange. Okay? Because of that. I think Binance, many of the top 5 ones will be fine. Okay? Many of the smaller ones, on the other hand, probably are not going to be surprised or survive. You're going to be surprised that they don't survive because the powers that be are clamping down on everything. Okay? So they may have to purge everything, and the things that those exchanges have been doing in the background that are naughty, and they're going to have to pay those bills afterwards. So I know you do a lot of trading, but I wouldn't keep all your eggs in one basket or several baskets. I'd use that Ledger Nano that you have for the coins that are not in use. Okay? When will the purges start? Now, for the little exchanges, I think it's going to be very, very soon, probably by the time of next spring. Okay, we're going to see a lot from now to next spring. We're going to see a lot of that transpire. The bigger exchanges, which have fireproofed themselves and to protect themselves from the powers that be, will be fine. But that does not mean that you keep your cryptos on an exchange, okay? Because there's other things that can attack it. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Three curs on Roe v. Wade. Now, basically, that they're just saying that they're giving back the choice to the state, each state. Okay, instead of having an overall regulation with that, so it'd be the separate states that say yay or nay to any laws. So we're going to see a lot of movement of people doing what they need to do. Okay. And that's what all the kerfuffle is about. They wanted an overall law on everybody in the States, but that's like herding cats. You're not going to be able to do that, especially on a topic such as that. So, you ever try to herd cats? It's not fun. It's nearly impossible. So 3 cards on the what will there's gonna be turmoil. Okay. Not more in the States than anywhere. And we even have some here in Canada. Why I don't know. I think it should be up to the individual states, and the people in those states should contact their local governments to take care of the situation and not do violence like some people normally do. And we're not going to get too much into that. And there is going to be some violence going on because of this thing that should be up to the individual states. It's just how the states works. Okay? And Canada, each province doesn't have to follow the laws of the Ottawa. Okay? And we saw that in the last 2 years. And it's going to be moving forward in many different ways for the individual states to make their own laws. Okay. So the people within those states are going to be making their own laws depending on the populace of the people. And no, there's not going to be a civil war, and there's not going to be any of that going on because of this. And especially those gun laws, which they have now the open carry. It's a done deal. Okay. It's just the government trying to take away the rights of the people in that case. In this case, it should be up to the individual what they do with their own body as well. So putting a blanket law in place is probably a bit horrible thing to do. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Time to know updates about Pulse Chain. Which token will be explosive this year, Pulse or the exchange token Pulse X? Which will be the winner overall between those two? Okay. Pulse is going to take the win. Okay, overall, I think they're both going to do just well, but I think Pulse overall is going to be the winner of the two, but not by huge amounts. Okay. Um, what else? The exchange, though, connect. I think the Pulse is going to be going through really hard times, even though it's going to be the better of the two. They're going to be rewriting a lot of the things in the back end for cryptocurrencies as general in the background because of regulations and stuff. The other one, Pulse X, I think is going to have a easier time with the regulators, but it's not going to do as well as for the price. Okay, so tough situations make better people and makes better businesses and makes better cryptocurrencies. Okay, especially if they plan on doing things to overcome those things. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. I don't know if it's going to go 100 times. Now, the way I look at it, BTC is the market. Okay, once you start to realize that it's the granddaddy, it's the one that cannot be really taken down by government or agencies, and that is probably its safe haven. Okay, where everybody knows the leader of Cardano, and they can point a gun at his head, and you're going to do this. Nobody knows the leadership of Bitcoin. This is a benefit. If you think governments are the good guys, I got a few things to tell you. And that's probably why the reason that BTC will be the king for a long time from now, as a lot of changes are going to be happening to many of the other cryptocurrencies where they know the leadership. Okay. And that's why BTC will probably be the king for a long, long time. Okay. Though you can make some money with the smaller ones. Hi, Andre. What do you see happening with the farmers headed to Ottawa for Canada Day? So, Justin Trudeau will get COVID again for third or fourth time and hide, as he normally does. Uh, that's just a quick joke. Let's just see what the cards say. Boy, everything that Justin does kind of is backfiring on him. Okay, so let's just have a quick look for good old Justy and the farmers. The farmers are going to be pulling. It's probably from the thing I was already talking about a while back, that the price of crops is going to go because of all the stupidity that our governments have been doing with Russia. Okay, fertilizer and all that. I don't think that's as effective. Our farmers are not affected by that as much as the United States, but it's still a thing. It's going to be ramping up the prices for crops. And plus, we had a very late planting season this year. Talking to some farmers and people that know farmers and stuff like that, because of everything was really wet. Um, what the farmers will be facing, I believe they're going to be doing the right things at the right time. It's going to get the world's attention or the government's attention, and they're going to be, because they want the votes. Okay, so they're going to be a little nicer to the farmers than they were to the truckers. The farmers are doing the right thing, and it's the right mix of things going on at the right times. And it's going to start to bring some change because people are going to start to realize that everything that we've been doing in Canada is the wrong thing. And that's why we're going to see a hard shift to the right in the next election, which is in about 2 years from now for us Canadians. So they're going to be making a huge impact. And probably Justy will be hiding with the sniffles or something. Okay. Will miners have to sell BTC in the next couple months, causing BTC to drop more? Yes, I know a lot of talking to a few miners, the party, and they shut off their machines because it's not profitable right now to keep them on at the moment. Okay, this is going to change. Don't worry, BTC will be around. But yeah, they're going to be the bigger companies are probably going to be selling a lot of their cryptocurrency to pay the bills. Okay. And probably shutting off a couple of their machines to save cost. So will they drop? Yes, it's going to be dropping in the next little while. And it's probably part of the reason that it's going to be having that next dive. But they're already prepared to turn them back on at a moment's notice. They're just waiting for the right price. Here in Manitoba, our hydro power costs aren't as great as many other countries. It's pretty cheap here, actually, in Manitoba, and it gets rather cold. So it makes sense to plug your machines in the wintertime because it's now a good heating system for your house and garage and many other things here in Canada. No, Winnipeg. Anyways, and so they're probably going to be plugging them back in the winter time. Kind of what I've been saying. And many of the mining companies are in colder climes, so they use that heat. If you've ever been next to a mining machine, it gives up a lot of heat. Okay. It can heat your house or your garage. Uh, and one of the gentlemen we see at the meetings, the head guy from the meetings, he actually traded a thing to go on the end of your miner, and so it goes through your heating ducts. He patented it actually, and so you can heat your house in the wintertime with your miners. So not only are you making Bitcoin, you're also making heat for your house. So you freeze to death. So they will probably shut them down before the winter time, and when the winter time happens again, they'll turn them back on. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Will any British banks go down this year? I think the British banking system's quite like Canadian banking system. It's all one. It's not like the United States where anyone can start a bank if you have the capital. Here in Canada and many of the former British colonies have a one bank, one company type of thing. Let's just have a look. Will any of the banks go down this year? There's a few banks that are going to be merging with us. They usually go gone, or they're going to be merging with other banks. And now you're going to have I'm not quite top of my head any British banking system companies, but they might have the like TD Toronto Dominion Bank or Toronto Dominion Montreal Bank merging together. I do see a little bit of that going on where they're going to be combining forces to keep their head above water. But I don't see any of the actual banks collapsing entirely. Okay, they'll come together and keep alive that way. Okay, so no, not quite. They'll merge together to keep going. Okay. What is the high you see Truebit getting to in years' time? Canada is still a British colony. Kind of. It's weird how they did it. Anyways, yes, it's going to be going up quite a bit. I don't know an exact price. 100 or more percent from what it is today in the 2 to 3 years time from now. It will go up at the moment. It's going to follow along that Bitcoin price, and then it's going to shoot up with many of the other ones going forward. Being a day-to-day trader, you're probably going to be doing so you can make some nice trades along the way, making money from that chaos, which is what traders do. Okay, so you're going to be just fine if you're trading Truebit. Can you do a 3-card pull for my girlfriend's son? His father is filling his head with lies. Is there anything she can do to stop the manipulation the father is causing? Okay. I think the son is going to start to realize that his father has a bunch of baloney. Okay, and he's going to start to figure it out himself over time. Making sure that she has the counterpoint to the baloney going on in her son's mind. You can't control others. The only one you need control is you. Okay, that's like universal law. um, the only things that we can do as helping other people is just speak our mind, okay, and have that person make their own decision and give them room to make those decisions. Okay, give them that counterpoint and examples why that is not exactly the baloney that baloney he should not be listening to. So yes, there is a way of changing them without trying to change them by just giving the counterpoint to the BS the father is causing. Okay, and I think the son is going to figure it out himself over time. It may take a year or so. Okay, hopefully that helps you out, Brad. When is Bitcoin gonna reach 100,000? Right now, when the cows jump over the moon. No, it's gonna be fairly soon. Uh, like I've been saying for some time, it's probably gonna be in the winter time. So enjoy the summer, buy your cryptocurrency, sit on it, relax, enjoy the summer, and then the turmoil is gonna happen. And throughout the turmoil, things are gonna do what they need to do, and then the cryptocurrency prices, all of them, well, good portion of them, are going to be going up. Okay, after the winter time, or during the winter time, and into the next spring. Okay, hopefully that helps you. Um. Okay. Your wisdom. Longing and shorting is a good tactic to use if you know how to do it. Maybe you can talk to Dark. He does that on a daily basis. I don't. I just buy it. I sit on it, and I let things do what they want to do. We already know the outcome many years down the road or short time down the road. And we just go from there. But your own thing, you got the right ideas, you got the right strategies. Just don't get too greedy. Don't 100 times leverage and all that sort of thing, because when it does go down, it's going to hurt. Just keep it simple, like you have been doing. Don't go whole hog, okay? Because you can lose a lot of money over leveraging things, okay? And maybe talk to the Dark. He knows a lot of that sort of thing on the technical aspect. Overall, I think you're going to be just fine. Just don't go crazy with it, okay? Hopefully that helps you out. Oh, we're done. Hey. I was just on a roll today. Me and the wife are on a little bit of a holiday this week, so a little bit more relaxed and stuff like that. So awesome stuff. Just a reminder, we do lives here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. because of work when I normally work, and Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central. So make sure you mark down your calendar. If you like a personal reading with me, you make sure you go to secondreadingsbyandre.com right over here. Okay. If you, all the information's there. I know all that Bill C11 stuff going on. I know Dark was sending me some information on that. If that should happen, go to secondreadingsbyandre.com, where I have all my other places I put videos on. And you can subscribe to those as well, just in case. You never know. Be a good idea to look for other things to get into as well. And some of those you can actually make money watching my videos. Cool, eh? What else are we going? If you like to protect your cryptocurrencies in the best possible way, on that same website, we have a link to the Trezor website where I'm an affiliate. So if you buy, I'll get a little bit of money from that as well. Just to protect your cryptocurrencies. Never ever keep your cryptos on an exchange unless you're like Dark, who does trading all day and every day, that sort of thing. Okay? Because the shit happens. Okay? So with that, always grateful for everybody coming out. We'll be back here on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Central. And make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.